Well, Monday Night Madness, and boy, were we um, threatened with a lot of weather today. But this is what we ended up with. Absolutely no weather. Dr. Kelsey here, and I just want to do my little Monday Night Madness thing here. I can point this up to the sky, and you can see something, but if I bring it down to eye level, it gets very, very dark. Amazing after it works, except for a few lights in my backyard. Landscaping lights in the Garden of Whedon. So, how is everyone doing? Got through another weekend, a wonderful group of people down in Mobile, Spanish Fort, Alabama, for a wonderful wedding of a couple. There's the moon right there, kind of focused in on it. That's why it got grainy, because I zoomed in. Let me see. Wow, not bad for this little Android phone, but there is our moon tonight. Very apropos, by the way, because it's Monday night. Let me get that back out. Gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. Monday is the day of the moon. Interesting, right? You go through all the days of the week, and they're named after some god or goddesses and so forth. Sunday is the sun god. Moon is the moon god. Saturday is named after Saturn. Friday after Frigg, and on it goes. And the same way with our months. They're all named after some god. And the fascinating thing about it, and people don't take the time to really stop and think about what they're saying or what they're using as an argument to support their own personal choice of beliefs in gods and whatnot, is they'll say, oh, well, you know, our entire dating system revolves around the birth of Jesus. And it's like, well, I think you need to go back and study history. It's kind of been adapted that way. But interestingly enough, if that were true, why do we have all the days and months named after other gods? So all these gods are given recognition, but we give more recognition to all these other gods than we do the Christian God, as far as our calendar is concerned, if you will. So anyway, just a little food for thought if you're going to use that argument to support your belief in the Christian God. And doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to, demean anyone's God. I'm just talking about the arguments that's used in support of, and how weak they end up. If I was going to use an argument to support my belief, I think I'd find a better and stronger something to base my argument on. So there you go. Beautiful weather, just a very light breeze out here. You can barely see the limbs of the trees kind of swaying a little bit. Nothing really way off in the west there to indicate any weather. A little bit to the north, Huntsville and whatnot. Everybody got in an uproar over the weather today, and I had an appointment just totally put off till Friday due to fear over weather. And this is the resulting day. I've kind of been paying attention. There were threats in North Alabama, but I haven't heard of anything. And the little red area kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the day progressed. And I know we're down to, before we had all kinds of opportunity for rain, and the last I checked an hour or two ago, it had diminished in our area down to the highest percentage all night of 15% chance of rain. So much for weather forecasters. And just like everything else that we deal with in humanity, we're often reminded of our humanity, our fallacies, our failures. We are quick to grab a hold of stuff, and we can go and get hyped up over stuff and brag about certain accomplishments and how great this person is or that person is, or something fantastic. And we seem to hone in a lot of the two things we hone in with people is athletes, sporting events. We make grand heroes of sorts of, oh, so and so such a great quarterback. We're talking about people that's playing with a ball. You do understand this, right? In all these things, gymnastics, we praise because somebody can jump and flip. And basketball, football, soccer, all these things evolve around adult men. Starting out in youth, we train them this way. They are playing with a ball. That is what they're doing. But we put them on a pedestal. We pay them millions of dollars a year sometimes, and this is where we are in humanity. This is what we are. This is where we have come in the 21st century. Not any different than the Roman gladiators. It just hasn't changed. The tools have changed. The communications changed. Our caves are now climate-controlled houses. Our transportation is now fossil fuel vehicles, paved roads. Those things have changed, but the essence of the human has not changed one iota. We still put certain things on a pedestal that really, there's no really a real accomplishment to it, except somebody broke the record for running a mile. Somebody can run, somebody can play with a ball, and somebody can jump and turn a flip and walk on a very thin wire. And that's what we really focus on, these things. We expend untold amounts of resources on this kind of stuff. And then there's the entertainment end of it. You know, we get into watching fictional stuff on TV, actors and actresses playing roles, and that's all fine, but so many get consumed with this, they miss out on their own lives. So we got spectator sports, and we've gone from hunting and fishing being a necessity for getting our food. Now it's a hobby. Now it's a sport. So fishing, you know, the cost, the amount of money spent to get a boat, get out somewhere, and catch fish to eat is not it's not a it's not a frugal thing. It's very expensive. You have to get a license. In other words, you got to go to the government and say, I want to fish or I want to hunt, and you've got to go by certain rules. So none of it has anything to do with I'm doing this so I can eat. Our hunting has boiled down to, you know, Publix and Kroger's and Piggly Wigglies and Winn-Dixies, and our farms are the same way. And you'll find some people have a tiny little spot of land, and they have, you've heard of hobby farm. I have a hobby farm. Well, that explains what we're talking about, hobby farm. I grew a few heads of lettuce in my backyard and a few tomatoes, and it becomes kind of a hobby thing. These are not in any way necessities that we're living on. So those kind of things have clearly changed, but our needs as far as food and water and shelter and so forth have not changed one bit. Our hatreds, our loves, all our physiological needs have not changed one iota in thousands and thousands of years, and the best we can tell has not changed one iota in the entire history of the human species. So we've not progressed on that end. We still kill. Our tools of killing may be different, but we still kill. One person is now capable of killing in mass. You know, there's only so many people you can kill with a rock or a knife at a time, but now we have these weapons that just about anybody can get a hold of, and it's like, wow, so one person in just, bam, just a few minutes can annihilate 100 people, absolutely with little to no effort. Totally fascinating. I say fascinating, it's sad, but it is fascinating to see where we've come and what we now argue, fight, and debate over. So we're no different. We're debating over these instruments that bring harm, these instruments of destruction. And if we talk about health care, if we talk about things that could actually improve our existence, like health care and so forth, we get in this very, very strong state of arguing against it. We have a mass of people that, oh no, not health care to those lazy people, blah, blah, blah. And so you can't say that we've really improved. You can't say that we have become a better lot as a species. It's just not there. But this is what we've got. We still wage war. We still fight, and you know, it just hasn't changed. It's just the tools that we use to get these things and to accomplish these things. That's all that's changed, is the tools. But otherwise, we are the exact same beast. Even though that dot up in the sky, we have sent human beings to walk upon that moon that for thousands of years man has simply gazed at and wondered about. And we're keeping a handful of humans circling the globe and just above up here in outer space. And yeah, so we've got that. And but yet, as we venture out like that, just like when we find some unpopulated area and decide to go move into it thinking, oh yes, unscathed by humans, let's go here, we end up bringing everything with us that we're dealing with here. To think that we could go and populate another planet and make the outcome different is it's insane until we learn how to live here. You know, just like the belief system I was talking about a moment ago with Christianity and others that would hold the belief that when you die you're going to go somewhere to eternity. You do realize you're talking about living in eternity with the same people you really don't like right here, correct? You do realize that right here you're having an issue with people that live just a little bit further south. You have an issue with them coming a little bit closer to you across a certain line of demarcation created by man on what you claim is a God-given planet with God-given resources, but you feel quite comfortable denying those resources to others who happen to live and were born, just happen chance to have been born just a little bit to the south of where you are. It's amazing how that works. Even though it's all God-given, even though you did not ask to be born in any particular spot on this planet, even though you didn't ask to be born at all. You had no choice of when and where. You could have been born 5,000 years ago in Egypt, just as easily as you were born in the 20th or 21st century. Yet you feel empowered somehow to take what you claim is God-given, what you claim was brought to you by some divine entity, God, given to all creation. But somehow you think that you and your bubble is blessed and honored by this Creator somehow more so than somebody else, and that you have some right to deny these others. Interesting. It's just, like I said, food for thought. It's just very interesting to me that people can feel that way. Oh, that's a gift from God. But it also falls very much in line with born a sinner, original sin, born into sin. I just haven't seen or heard anywhere, and I'm an older guy, I've seen a lot of newborns come into the world in my over 60 years of life, and I have yet to see anyone walk up to a newborn baby or any baby that has not learned how to walk and talk yet and walk up and say, oh, poor child, a sinner, even though they do teach the child to bend down to this God and beg for mercy. It's like, what did this child do to require the mercy of some divine source? What did this child do besides being born and not even asking to be born, and certainly having no input as to when and where they were born, but yet they're immediately labeled a sinner? Even though for that first while nobody's looking, it's always, oh, the perfect little angel, look at my little girl, she's so cute, she's such a perfect little angel. It's like, well, that perfect little angel, when does this original sin kick in? When does that take over? At what point does original sin take away from the perfect angel bed? Just interesting. It's just fascinating the way that we think and the way we're taught to think, and our lack of ability to question the things that we're taught and so forth. So anyway, this is Monday Night Madness with Dr. Kelsey Graham, and I just wanted to put this out to, you YouTube subscribers. You haven't subscribed yet? Hit the subscribe button. Guess what? Thumb. You can't even see my thumb. It's so dark out here. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and come back for more. That's my rant, and that's Monday Night Madness here by Dr. Kelsey Graham. I hope you're having a good evening, and sorry about the storms. They just did not get us, and sorry about the no rain. Not that we need any, right? Chat later.